Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha, Srimad Varavara Munayae Namaha, Sri Baladanvi Gurave Namaha. Namaskaram one and all. Hope you are enjoying our Margari Vaibhavam, where we are experiencing Yemperuman's Thirunamam as sung by Andal in each and every Pasuram. In the series, today it's day 3. And the Thirunamam, or the name that Andal uses here, is Vongi Ulahalanda Uththaman. When we say Uththaman, it kind of resonates with somebody who is noble and virtuous, isn't it? Our Purvacharyas give two different interpretations to the term Uththaman. Today, let's experience both and know why Andal is referring to Yemperuman as Uththaman. So the first interpretation is based on our Tattvatrayam. As we know, in our Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam, there are 3 realities. Achit, which is the beings that do not have any knowledge. We call them as Achetanam, non-sentient. Then we call Chit, which is they have knowledge. We are called the sentient beings. And then there is Ishwaran. The Achit is called as Apurushan, which means he is not a person, no knowledge, and so it's referred as Apurushan. When we take the things that have knowledge, the sentient beings, the Chit, it's again classified into 3. First is Purushan, that is people who are in this world, who are samsaris, who go through this cycle of birth and death. They are called as Purushaha. And the next step is Utpurushaha, which means people who have interest in obtaining moksha, mumukshus. They are called as Utpurushaha. And Uttara Purushaha, or the Nityasuris, who live in the Paramapadam. Beyond all this is what we call as Uttama Purushan or Utthaman, who is Yemperuman Sriman Narayanan, and he is the only one who is the Uttama Purushan. But why do we have to celebrate him as Utthaman? Are the other categories not virtuous? Are Nityasuris not virtuous? There is one thing that separates Yemperuman Sriman Narayanan from all the other type of Purushas, and that's why we call them as the Uttama Purushan. And what is that quality? So in general, if this is the second interpretation, so in general, if a person is there and this person causes harm to other people for no reason, that person is called as Adhaman or Adhamadaman, which means he is lower than even the lowest. And there is the next category called as the Adhaman, who is so willing to hurt somebody for his own gains. That is, who is so selfish. He wants to hurt others, and through the process, he wants to gain something. And then comes Madhyaman, which means people who are in win-win situation. You know, these days we think doing this win-win situation is something amazing and he's a good person. But our Purvacharya says that's not good. They are just mediocre. That's why they are called as Madhyaman. And beyond this comes Utthaman, who is so selfless and who would sacrifice himself, his name, his fame, his glory, his wealth, everything for the sake of others. Like the nature. If you look at Mother Nature, just take a tree. For whom does she bear the tree? For her own sake? No. She gives it for everyone else, isn't it? Similarly, let's look at this breeze that blows on us. For who is the breeze blowing? Is it blowing for its own case? No, it's blowing for others. So like this flower, or like this tree, or like this beautiful breeze, or take for that matter anything in this nature, they are so selfless. And Yemperuman is as selfless as them. And that's why he's called as Utthaman. Are there examples for it? Of course, there are numerous examples. And in this Pasuram, Andal takes up this one example where Yemperuman was born as Vamanan and then he grew up as Thiruvikraman. Ongi Ulahalanda Utthaman. So when he was born as Vamanan, he was so short. He's called Kuralan, which means he is just 1.5 feet tall. That's it. But then why was he born? He was born because of Indra's plead. So there was this demon king called as Mahabali who had occupied Indra's space, Indralokam, and Indra came crying to Sriman Narayana to protect him. And because of his cry and plead, Yemperuman took birth as Vamana, and in this Vamana avataram, he went and did something that he has never done before, which is yachana, which is begging. Yemperuman, who is the head, who is the leader, who is the master, who has both these wealth of Nitya Vibhuti and Leela Vibhuti, has come to the state of begging for the sake of a devotee called Indra. He went to Mahabali and he did the yachna, and there he grew and measured this whole world, and also he even crossed the Antasarasaram, right? So this Ashrita Pakshapadam, or his ability or his kindness, his compassion to serve his devotees or those who have come to at his feet and fallen refuge, and this attribute is what makes him Utthaman, and that's why Andal celebrates him as Ongi Ulahalanda Utthaman. Now let's enjoy the Pasuram. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.
Ongi Ulahalanda Utthaman pe paadi நாங்கள் நம் பாவைக்கு சாற்று நீராடினார். ஓங்கி உலகளந்த உத்தமன் பாடி நாங்கள் நம் பாவைக்கு சாற்று நீராடினார். தீங்கின்றி காடெல்லாம் திங்கள் மாறி பெய்து ஓங்கு பெரும் சென்னல் கண்படு